Hello, everybody. Hello. How's everyone doing today? Welcome. Thank you for coming to the channel. We are going to be going over the very awesome fighter update today, as soon as I can get this on my screen. As always, we have our technical difficulties. I am joining the Backwards Hat Club today that you see with Rive Genesis and Dr. Birds. Gotta have my backwards hat, only because I didn't want to put and do my hair because I was feeling a little bit lazy because I was in the middle of making a video. So let me go ahead and get this set up, and then we will start streaming the fighter stream, and we'll start talking about it, delving into it. I'm making a very long video about it, really going over the whole thing as we speak right now. So we'll see how it all works out in a little bit. But let me go ahead and get this set up for you real quick, which I wish it would have been done already. Let's see. There we go. Bam! Just like that. All right. Technical problem solved. So let's, without further ado, get this started. If you cannot hear me, if I'm coming in a little bit quiet, please let me know in chat, okay? Because sometimes I don't have the mic close enough.
And welcome to yet another day in the world of Vera, and we have an exciting update for you today. We are going to be showing off one of the most beloved archetypes in fantasy MMO.
I don't know about you guys, but I plan on playing a Renkai, and that Renkai, to me, there was a lot of complaints stirring throughout the week that people weren't liking the way it looks. I love the way it looks, you know, because the Renkai have a little bit of dragons in their bloodline. So it makes sense. I like the look, and people have to remember that it's all customizable. The CC creator that they have for us, the character creator that they have going on for us, is going to be robust. It's going to be better than, you know, Black Desert Online's even. So people have to realize that if the tusks are not big enough for you, you can make them bigger. If the dick's not big enough for you, you can make it bigger. If the boobs aren't big enough for you, you can make them bigger or smaller, whatever you want to do. It's your choice. So people relax. If you see the race and you don't like it, you're going to be able to tweak it. This is just the general model of it. I love it. I have no issues with it, and I think they did a good job. Well done, Intrepid.
The fighter archetype, and there has been a lot of work that's been done in progressing this. Obviously, the last time we showed anything remotely fighter related, it was I think almost 2 years ago when we did our first basic weapon, melee weapon revamp from Alpha 1. And there were a couple of abilities, obviously, that we showed off, but nothing like the showcase we have stored for you today. You are going to get some pretty in-depth understanding of how this archetype has been redesigned and the progression that's going to be available as part of Alpha 2. And we have joining us to talk through that today two of our absolutely stellar and glorious senior designers on the combat team, Trad, Brian. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good here. Glad to be back on stream.
I'm doing great. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you both. I know you guys have put in a lot of work and I think really representing pretty well what a lot of people who played fighters and other MMOs love about the class. I'm excited to chat with you about the direction you guys have taken. And obviously, helping to make that a reality, feature team owner on the combat side, as well as one of our senior engineers. Keenan, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
And now that you mention it, I think that original fighter stream was actually my first stream.
Was it really?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was. I think you're right. Yeah, there was a lot of work that went into kind of obviously changing the direction of melee and combat in general at that time. And now we are seeing some of the fruitful persistence in that direction. So one other thing I want to let you guys know is obviously we are here.
We're going to go ahead
again,
and skip
in the Riverlands.
a little bit. So we're going to start going right to the abilities because obviously we're in Riverlands.
Character based on which form you were in.
This looks really good. I like this. Hey, Rockta, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the channel. Glad to have you. What did you think about the fighter showcase yesterday and the Renkai? I loved them. Making a video as we speak for YouTube. It's an extremely long video, very detailed. I loved it. Yeah, I'm pumped. I know Jamie Chaos and I have been talking all night about how much we enjoyed it. So I love the abilities. There were a few abilities, probably more like just one ability that I wasn't all that thrilled with. oh yeah, Renkai looks beefy, chonky. I love him. You know, and one of the things that I mentioned just before you got here was people were talking. There's been a lot of negative comments during the week about how the Renkai looked. I thought they looked just fine. And what people don't realize is the character creator is going to be so robust. They're going to have a chance to fix all that stuff. So people just need to relax and just let Intrepid do their thing, because you're going to be able to do. You want bigger tusks, you're going to be able to do it. You know, so it's not a big deal. But I loved the abilities. The abilities is where, man, I got excited. You know, they haven't showed me the rogue, and I was going to be a rogue, but I'm pretty stoked to be. Hey, gamer, how you doing? But I'm pretty stoked to be a fighter now, because I am going to be a Renkai. So, and I was trying to initially visualize myself playing a rogue and realizing I'm going to be too big to hide behind a bush. So, the fighter might be for me. But the first ability, we'll go ahead and get to it because it looks really good. Now, all the UI looks so clean. You guys decide, but for me, it looks extremely clean.
Which we'll get into it in a little bit
But
here.
Blitz, the first
and
ability,
you can also spend it for certain unique, especially
wow.
powerful bonuses.
So, and guys, just a reminder
Let's scoot up while he gets through his preferences.
how they can be.
Yeah, man.
And repeat.
Cool.
A nuke.
My bad.
All right,
From
so
someone.
here we go with
My
Blitz.
bad.
No, that
Rock
was
just
for
says
sure
at
my
first I
bad.
kind of thought it was too green and apple. I didn't mind the green hue, but I hope we can get different colors. Oh yeah, I'm sure that we're gonna be able to you're gonna be able to make a white orc, a red orc, a black orc, all that stuff. A white orc, kind of like from Lord of the Rings, that'd be pretty cool. But I've always been partial to the green orcs. The Blitz that they there,
That feels
that
really
is
good, by
the
the
most
way. That
amazing
feels clean.
thing that they could have come up
Very
with.
clean.
I
Yep,
love
there's-
that.
Did somebody also die
That is
over
so
here?
good. And also, I noticed. Did you guys notice how when he's in combat that the mini map up there turns red? So that's
Little
kind of a nice
mushroom.
little indicator that
Oh,
I
the
didn't
mushroom.
pick up
Okay.
on before. But
Okay, Blitz
That
feels
is
really
nice.
good. Well done with that. I like that. It's super smooth and fluid. It feels. There's not really any movement interruption either on contact or at the initiation, which is obviously one of the most.
Rock just says the scripture tool. I'm sure you can remake one pink or God. Gosh, I can see pink fluffy bunnies, in pink orcs, everything in between in Ashes of Creation. If the character creator allows you to, I'm sure we're gonna see some pride orcs in there. So it's not gonna, nothing's
Ideal
gonna shock
feeling
me
points of
in
any
that
mobility
game.
skill, right? Is that fluidity throughout.
Get a orc looking like a rainbow.
Okay, let's talk about the next one.
You guys
So
like
we
my
have
my Rive Genesis / Dr. Burns backward cap day today? It all came down to, I was just too lazy to do my hair today. Sorry.
Brutal Cleave.
Yep, this is probably your
I was
most
grinding
bread
for
and
you,
butter
trying to
AoE
make that
attack.
YouTube video.
You can. It does a medium amount of damage. It's not one of your more spectacular AoEs, but it's your primary AoE
This
resource
one looks
generator.
okay.
So you're gonna
Obviously, if you're just facing one person, it's really not going to be your go-to spell. But I think this is the one that rotates with Overpower. That you can swap between this one or Overpower. I would probably use Overpower in most instances, but if you're in a big group of people or mobs, yeah, this one's definitely going to be handy.
be using this a lot to build your momentum. And you also weave this a lot between your weapon combos, because your weapon attack finishers will reset seconds off of this cooldown. So if you're like going back and forth between cleaves and weapon attacks, you get to do more of them and have more uptime.
Okay.
The graphics just look so
Yeah,
good,
that's
guys.
pretty cool. All right. So this does.
Also, the more targets you hit, so that's why it's really good in AoE situations, is you get more momentum.
I think
based
I've
on how
watched
many
this
targets
4 or
you're
5
hitting.
times already.
Got it. So after jumping in with Blitz, especially
Just
if
trying
there's
to get
multiple
up and
targets,
soak up all the information
going with a
on
Brutal
it.
Cleave is just going to really ramp that momentum. And then it looks like also that this ability,
Hey,
it
yes.
says shares a cooldown
Lothar!
with Overpower.
Yes. Dude, I was so excited. I mean, this not only was the fighter showcase outstanding, but it made being able to see the Renkai, because let's face it, everyone's been kind of wondering, well, where's the Tolner? Where's the Renkai? We haven't seen them. To get us to shut up. And what better archetype to put it out for than the fighter? I mean, that screams Renkai. So I'm glad they did it. I'm glad they went for it. I'm very excited about the direction of where they're going, and I have something to tell you guys a little later on that something they mentioned at the end of the stream that leads me to believe that coincides with that July prediction I made for Alpha 2 on that YouTube video. If you didn't see it, go check it out. And also hit a subscribe if you're not. It kind of coincides with that. It was a small tidbit. It was quick, but I think it has some relevance. As says, nice to know the other races are kind of ready and able to go, because I've always expected the opposites in summer. Well, there's a lot of people in the world that, they need to see it to believe it, that they don't have, much faith. We all know that the Alpha is going to be going for an extended period of time. They are going to need to show stuff to us. They're going to need to have stuff to show to us, like the biomes and stuff like that. That's why he said that they're only going to have about 7 biomes at the start of Alpha 2. So it's going to be very important for us to be patient with that stuff. And when we get to Alpha 2, then they're going to start throwing that stuff in. So we got to be patient with that stuff. As says, I thought the races would be buggy and glitchy. Nah, I mean, look, they're adding more and more developers all the time, and they're up to close to 200 now. And you saw that they want to add more. They're really on a hiring spree. The industry is gonna welcome that, because they're probably one of the only ones in the industry that are actually doing a lot of hiring right now. So they are going to be able to get the best of the best talent. Couldn't have worked out. It's been bad for the rest of the gaming industry, but it couldn't be better for Intrepid the way it's working out for them.
And it says also the weapon combo finisher will reduce its cooldown by 8 seconds.
Yep. So you'll be resetting overpowers more frequently, because if we want to just jump over to that one, that's
they're
the
going
single
overpower now.
counterpart.
So that's where you're going to be jumping between the brutal cleave and the overpower, kind of choosing, which one is going to be, more. I did notice that all these were about a 4-meter range, all these attacks.
To this attack, it's just a single target hit, but it is a shorter cooldown, so you can reset them more frequently, and it's also generating your resource. So
Rockta says, and the building of the other biomes will be much faster than the previous ones because they made the assets from the first. Yep. No, absolutely. He made it sound like, the Riverlands was kind of like their staging point where they were putting all the work in, but a lot of the stuff that they have, a lot of the assets and stuff, is going to be pretty much transferable to the other biomes to make the other ones quicker. What they're hiring for now, I think, is getting in. I'd have to pull up the career list, but they're pulling in people who can help out with the quests and stuff, all that extra content we need. And they have time to do it. I mean, while we're in Alpha 2, they have all the time in the world to get to, the other continent, ready to go and full of life. Their classes are looking good. You're seeing them starting to put out the starting gear for, I think we've seen 3 classes now. They just put out the Nakua starting gear just recently. So it's all coming together, guys. I'm telling you, we got to be patient. I know we're getting excited. I'm getting excited. It's going to be here soon. And all those naysayers, all those scammers getting their clickbaits on their videos saying, oh, it's a scam. Enjoy your clickbaits, bud, because forget about it. The game is coming out. It's going to be great, and that's all there is to it. And you can suck it while I'm enjoying Alpha 2.
Kind of, you're choosing which one to use based on what your enemies are.
Very cool. That looks great, by the way. Scott and Siva have done an amazing job.
I wonder how much they're healing this tank.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it.
Either they got some major buffs on that tank, or that tank is pretty freaking tanky. Because he was taking a beating and he really wasn't losing that much health. Did anybody else notice that? That tank looks pretty beefy for level 15.
How the effects turned out, making physical look this cool, it was a feat.
Okay. All right. Very cool. I like that. This brutal cleave is awesome. Let's talk about maim. Here, let's go over here a little bit.
Maim, this is a great ability. As is exactly, all those scam squallers have something to enjoy with the Alpha 2. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, oh, it does look cool. The maim, this one is one of my favorite. Rockta says, I think that's a cheat code on their side not to die. Yeah, probably. Probably. We do know that they were putting some cheat codes in. Maim, this is one of my favorite abilities. I personally am in more favor. I'm in more favor of the first version that they're going to show than the second version. I just think it's going to be a little bit more useful.
Powerful AOE attack.
Going to be able to hit more people in
do you have
the
spec
conal
right now
effect.
for the
yeah, let me take a look
range?
here. And by the way, brutal cleave, I apologize. There's no additional functionality, it looks like, on brutal cleave. But we did talk also about
overpower's on the right column.
Yeah, he's looking
it's
for
an auto
overpower
granted
on the
ability,
right
so it's
over
not going to be in this tree.
Oh,
like if you,
got it.
there you go.
Okay, so it doesn't
so
have
this-
any spec options either.
That's right.
But maim does. And should I turn maim off? Let me turn the spec option off first, because this actually extends the distance of the projectile by essentially launching that piercing projectile. Is that right?
Yeah, let's take a point out of that first, and then we'll just kind of look at the base effect.
Okay.
So this is just a cone in front of you. You're hitting in a cone in front of you. It's pretty heavy hitter. You're not resetting the cooldown of this, so you need to be more, aware of when you're using this. But it also has the added effect of
I love
it will
that.
do more damage against recently tripped enemies. So that's where you
It
really want to save
looks
this.
like,
is if
what
you
about
trip
8
someone,
meters or
or
so?
if
8
someone else has
meters
tripped
long,
an enemy,
give
you
or take,
capitalize on it by
about double
basically smashing down on them with this.
double the distance to hit a target, which is 4 meters.
That looks so good. Love it. That is awesome. Okay, so let's.
it's still
let's
a pretty
spec
big
into
area.
The projectile.
And the fact that if you hit this on them after
Now,
they've
this is gonna
tripped,
give you
it's going to
obviously
do
a lot more
100% more damage. Now this one's cool.
Oh,
It's cool, and I can see this being applicable in like
This
pulling
adds
mobs
a
that
piercing
are too
projectile on
grouped
top
up.
of the attack, so you're
Ladies
still
and
getting
gentlemen,
that
welcome to
frontal.
my
Hey,
buff,
Fufu
staying the
Headhunter,
same,
thank
but
you
you're
very much.
adding
How
a
you doing, buddy?
projectile on top of it. And the cool
We
thing
got
here
some,
too is the projectile gets the
We got
bonus
some
of
big time in here
the
now. How
damage
you doing,
bonus from the
Fufu?
trip,
What's going
so
on?
You
Glad
can
to have
actually
you.
combo into
Thank
a
you for
target
the
that
follow.
you see trip from range with this as well. One reason this is a spec option is some fighters will
I
want
like
to
this
be
one a
using
lot.
this in a way that
But I'm gonna stick with the first one. If I had to make it today, I'd be rolling maim with the first one. This one is good, but I see the applicability for it being somewhat limited. You know, maybe in a huge battle, if you don't want to get too close, you can just hit people from afar with it. But other than that, I really like the first one. But again, maim overall, great skill.
you
Great
don't want
ability.
to pull a mob in the distance, so it's just kind of an added layer of skill if you're using this in a really cluttered environment. But it's kind of a trade-off.
that feels really good. That is awesome. I'll give myself some minutes.
I hope Steven's happy, Fupo, with the way the live stream went yesterday, because I think everyone was
okay,
real
cool.
pleased
I love
yesterday.
maim. That is an awesome ability.
It
Let's
went
talk
off
about,
really well.
Battle Cry.
As says, he's okay.
This is definitely one of my personal favorites. It doesn't do damage, but it's got some really
Thank you
cool
all for
effects
showing up. Glad to
going on
have
with it.
everybody.
So, do you want me to start talking about it, or do you
Yeah,
want to
sure.
use
No,
it
yeah,
first?
you're good.
Fupo said it was a good stream overall. The entire community seemed to really take it. Yeah, I definitely agree. I haven't had a chance to. I've been busy making a video on YouTube, and I haven't had a chance to delve into the comments or even leave my own on the forums. But I think I'm trying to leave a little bit of feedback in my video. But I do. I think overall, from what I could see in chat when watching the live stream, everyone overall was pretty happy. And as I mentioned earlier, with the people earlier in the week who were complaining about the Renkai model, they have nothing to worry about. The character creator is so robust; they're going to be able to change just about anything with it. Rockta was wondering if we'd be able to change the colors of maybe a white skin or a black skin orc, and I'm sure we can. People have nothing to worry about.
So I love this as an AoE opener. What it does a few things. One, it riles your allies, specifically your party members. It will also apply a status effect called Shaken to your enemies.
I really like the shaken. Now you can put the shaken. Now the shaken is going to give you in a chance to trip them. Now what I don't like, Rockta says white-handed Saruman. Yeah, you ain't lying. What I don't like about the shaken is, okay, they quote you have a chance, a small chance. Not only that, I'm not a big fan of the whole RNG gods. I would I don't know. I want maybe to be able to somehow either in a skill or something like that be able to bump that up to where I have just more than a small chance, maybe like a 30% chance or something like that. But either way, it's going to roll down to the RG gods are going to love you or they're not. As says, fighter looks a lot, it seems like a lot like a barbarian, tough warrior. Well, here's one of the questions that I was delving in earlier. We see the fighter in heavy armor, right? We've seen all the different kind of armors. What we don't know about, at least I was searching the wiki today, and there's really not that much information on the armors itself. Now, since everything seems to be mana based, are mages in plate armor, is it going to be more like Arcade style, which is kind of the way a lot of me and a lot of the other content creators are kind of feeling? Like there's going to be pluses and minuses that you get with wearing certain armors, because otherwise everyone's just going to be wearing plate. If there's no penalty for wearing plate, then everyone's just going to wear plate. So I'm curious to see. I hope that they introduce soon what the stats and stuff like that for the cloth leather and plate armor are going to be, because everybody can wear everything. We already know that. So. But there's got to be some kind of give or take with it. And that was the same way in Arcade. You could wear anything you wanted to. How efficient it was going to be is another story. Welcome to the new viewers coming in,
and
guys.
then it will
Glad to have
generate
you.
a certain amount of combat momentum per ally that you riled.
I love.
And then just to elaborate,
the battle cry and the riled and stuff like that.
What is riled?
If you're jumping in and there's a big 250 raid and especially into the throne room, jumping in there and hitting that riled, it's gonna be crazy. You're just gonna cause some massive damage.
Well, Shaken right now is a debuff on enemies that whenever they take damage, they have a small chance to become tripped. So there's some good combos with this where like you go into like a multi-hit AoE and you can capitalize on that. And then by triggering trip status,
as says, I assume the talents and perks, especially for tanks and fighters that let someone wear plate armor, will be lesser disadvantage movement speed. Yeah, something like that. Rockta says the battle cry also changes with different. Yes, depending on what race you are, he did say it would change with your voices in the race. So maybe a dwarf goes, "Oh, lads, here you go." Or, I don't know. In a dwarf voice. I need Thogli for this. This is awesome. Fupo says a lot of details like the armor stats, things like that will be up in the community to find and discover during the testing. Okay, that makes sense. It will be fun to, yeah, exactly. But you know what I'm saying, Fupo. I mean, if there weren't any, say, penalty for wearing plate armor if you were a mage or something like that, everybody would wear it. So, I'm going to be a super tanky battle mage and not have any effects to it.
That flows into main.
I did like the way that Arcade did it. I didn't necessarily agree with all their buffs and negatives, but I'm pretty. I have a video, another teaser. I have a big video, very long video coming out on what is going to make Ash's creation so different. And there's one person that's going to make Ash's creation different from everything else. And that's our man, Steven. And he is the X Factor. So stay tuned for that. It probably will be out sometime next week, but stay tuned for that.
It's one of the combos I like to do is shout into like a whirlwind, which you'll see in a bit, into, maim to do extra damage against targets that have procced that effect.
Yeah, these are feeling great. Wow, I do like the...
You might have to delve deep for it, though, because my YouTube algorithm seems to be crap.
The battle cry. That is like probably the most standard feeling, like, you know, expected action on behalf of the fighter, some type of battle cry effect, and this one captures it well.
That is so awesome. So
I love
awesome.
that. That's cool. Okay, we saw Whirlwind back.
You know, the funny thing is, Fupo, I also thought as soon as I saw the Renkai fighter, immediately when I saw the blitz and I saw the leaping strike that he had, immediately I thought Arcage, Battle Rage class, Battle Rage archetype, right away.
A while ago, and talk to me about what's changed about Whirlwind.
So Whirlwind is actually pretty close to what it's
Everybody
always
loves
been.
Whirlwind. You gotta have spin to win.
It's an AoE channeled attack that ramps up in speed the longer you hold it. There's also a spec option on the right if you want to pick that. That gives a final upward swing at the end. That has some additional bonuses to it.
Okay. So let's do it without the spec first.
I think they said that Whirlwind lasts for about 2.7 seconds.
So it exits out after essentially the spinning there. Let's see.
Yep.
And it cannot be, you cannot be hard CC'd while you're doing it. So that's also something important to remember.
Yeah, you're also able to move during it, as you're seeing here. So it's pretty nice to be able to just kind of like use this while you're moving through a pack of mobs.
Got it. So let me spec now into the option.
This is the option where it's going to give him the uppercut swing basically after it. I'm not sure if this is one I'll spend the extra point on. He gets a crit on this one. It's like 71 damage off of it. I don't know
Oh, nice. Okay.
if I'll get that one or not. I think that point might be better used in another
so you're seeing
area.
him do the full channel, but if it's like, oh, I want to
I'll experiment with it.
Cancel out of it early. For, like, let's say one thing I'll do from time to time is if I shake in enemies and then this ability is kind of
I'm already
tripping
thinking
enemies because it's hitting really
like
rapidly. You might
a Shadow Blade build with the fighter robe might be really good.
If you want to show off that
pairing
combo.
that with the bleeds that they have.
Into a maim. Yep. Let's do it.
There you go.
Oh, nice. That's cool. That feels good. Let's see. Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome.
I really did like the
All right,
momentum
cool.
mechanic, though.
Whirlwind feels
I
good
thought
too. All right.
it worked out.
Cataclysm is another
It
one we
worked
saw
well.
a while ago. What's changed with Cataclysm?
Yeah, a lot.
This is the one. This was the big hammer
like this
that
big,
they had during
like,
the
hammer that
melee
would appear over your
showcase,
head, and then it hit, like, an
and
AoE kind of
you know, there was a lot of feedback on it, including myself, that they didn't think it was. It just didn't stand out as something that was real great. The fact that they listened to us and went back and redeveloped it. That means so much. The fact that they're listening to the community, and that means everything. Because and then they not only they change it into a can of awesomeness. I mean, this spell looks terrific.
Even though we haven't seen a lot of augment
it just is
done,
impactful.
A lot of this tech is foundational in applying these types of spec
Steven's
options,
going over kind of
which
a little bit of
essentially
augment stuff
are
here.
as well, but they can more radically change fundamentally what the ability is.
And
So,
this is why, after he
Whirlwind,
explains this, I believe that we're farther along
adding an
on the
additional
augment
component
system as well.
to
I
the
think there's a
ability
lot of
to
things
affect
that they're
combat
farther along on that we
climatic
actually
Whirlwind, essentially,
have
could be
access to
considered
know about,
functionally
and that makes
as an
sense.
augment, an additional effect applied to the
I mean,
ability.
there's 200 developers that they have
Okay.
are not sitting over
Let
there,
us
you know, pulling their
showcase
tallywhackers. They're
that
busy. They're hard at
Cataclysm.
work. Look at that. That's 120 damage.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
This is also another way to apply shaken to enemies as well.
He blocked
It and
75
Battlecry are
75 with that
separate
block or
longer
that
cooldowns,
attack.
So you might find yourself sort of going back and forth between these interchangeably.
And you
Just to
can
keep that status
change.
up.
I really like the way that looks. There was a few
Yeah,
content
why
creators that were saying that they'd like to change it up a little bit, but I had no problem with that.
Nice. I like that. Obviously, the granularity in that.
Yeah, it gives you a little more agency. Like you're not.
Did
just
you guys
locked
like
in
the
place,
change?
'cause it
How
is
do
a
you guys
full
feel about the
ability.
change
You
from
cannot
Cataclysm
move during this,
from when the
being able
old
to turn,
the first
like,
melee combat
gives you a little
one
bit
that they did?
more,
Did you like the
control
hammer that they
over
did
what
over
happens.
the
These
head?
things might
I
change
wasn't much a
mid-cast.
fan of that one, but I think this is a really good way to go with
I
this.
love the freedom feeling there. And that's obviously something that is a philosophy and a standard that's taken across a lot of the classes as it comes to like root ability use and whatnot.
Rakta says, yeah, it can't be that they are like Mr. Shreve. The item he asked for is done today, showcase night. Yeah.
Skill usage. All right, next up we have.
Well, the community in general, we're impatient.
This is an interesting one.
Even though we forget. Okay, most MMOs take about 10 years or so to put together, give or take. I think Intrepid is somewhere around 7, probably closing in maybe on 8 right now. But we have to also keep in mind that they had to deal with COVID. And COVID, no matter how we feel about that, it slowed it down. It slowed the process down. And then they had to go ahead and switch to Unreal 5. That slowed us down a little bit again. So there's some underlying circumstances that are, that have set them back a little bit. But what development doesn't have some kind of setbacks? But I believe that they got a lot of stuff that we don't know about, and that they're fully prepping for Alpha 2. And something I heard today, after I went and listened to Steven again, and this is important, the fact that Steven says he's not a perfectionist. Everything doesn't have to be perfect for Alpha 2 and launch. So that's big to me. He just wants to make sure that the game is ready, per se, to play the game effectively, and for people to be able to do the things that they need to do. It doesn't have to be perfect. We have to be realistic. The scope of this game, okay, is not going to be able to allow all the things that they want to have in this game. It's not going to be possible to have that in at launch. We have to be realistic with that. So there's nothing wrong with having a game with the core systems and everything else, and some secondary stuff to work on, secondary systems to work on, like, one of them being the weapon skill tree. You can unlock all the weapons and work on all those. There's going to be stuff to do while they, have the alpha server that they can test stuff and get that stuff ready to go before they put it, onto the live server. It's okay to not have everything. We'll be okay with that because we know Steven is going to want to keep putting out more content over time. It's just the way MMOs work. No MMO is complete at launch. It just doesn't work that way.
Single target attack, and it puts a temporary debuff on your target where if they are moving, while that effect is on them.
I love this ability. I don't care what people say about the blood. I love the blood. Let them all bleed out. That was awesome. Look at that. Look at that.
We can talk about that.
That's great.
We can talk about this as effect.
Dum de dum.
Talk about the fact that he should
Name
have
change.
zero blood pressure remaining after rupture.
Excuse me, guys. I got a cough.
Blood? Oh
Sure,
my God.
we can build in that mechanic.
That looks awesome. I absolutely love that.
Also, you'll notice at the end.
No, you cannot have too much. No, can't let them bleed out. That's great.
Scale with how much.
That's going to be a big ability, especially for those runners. When you're chasing a whatchamadiddle, a ranger who's plinking you, and you hit him with that, he's going to think twice before he keeps running. But they have a lot of. If you're a smart person, you might not want to pick a fight with a fighter unless maybe you're another fighter, or I don't know, maybe a rogue or something. But you're not going to get away from them. They got too many gap closers. They could even increase their speed with one of the momentum powers that they have. So I don't know. You probably don't want to play Run Forest Run with him. Rockton says, I don't mind blood visuals, but maybe a different style. Like he's losing gallons. Okay, I'll give you a little bit, Rockton. They can take a little bit away, just a little bit, but not too much. I want to see blood. I want to see the blood. I want to, I'm old. I need those big graphic visuals to show me that, because I might miss it if it's just a little
Okay,
bit.
so the wounds are essentially these stacking debuffs that get applied.
And you can see it going up in the upper right there when he gets hit with it, and when he starts
that's
running
gonna,
it,
you said,
he
decrease
takes
their
a good
healing
amount of
boost.
damage. If he gets up to 100
Also
stacks, that's going to
increases
hurt. That's
damage
probably going to
taken
be
from all
a
sources.
good 100, 150
From
damage
physical sources.
extra when he's
Physical
running.
sources, got it. Very cool.
Yep. And the more you build that up, because this is actually a stacking thing. It's not just like a single status effect. So
I
the
love
more
that
you're
blue
wounding the
shield
target,
that the warrior
more
or the
and
tank
more
rips out.
debuffed
As says,
your
I
incoming
wish
healing
to
becomes.
appreciate here that
So
this
it's
game
one of
looks
those things
absolutely
where
rad
if a
for a
fighter
game
is,
we're
like,
not
on
even
your
invading.
target
Yeah, this game
that
is
you're trying
looks
to keep
better than
alive,
any game
you
that's
wanna
on the
peel the
market
fighter
right
off that
now, to
target,
be
'cause
honest
the
with
longer
you.
they get that
I
uptime,
mean,
the harder it's going to become.
And it's not even
to
close.
heal them up.
That's and that leads, you know, to a lot of the angst that people are just very excited to get in and get their hands on it.
Okay, love Rupture. Also love the.
I get it.
insane amount
I
of
get it.
bullshit that's
I'm one of those people, but I also have to be realistic that he doesn't want to put it out
Overpower.
before it's, you know,
Talk to me
ready to.
about Overpower. What do you
Look,
got
I
here?
don't know what happened in Alpha 1. I mean, I was in Alpha 1, but I don't something happened because their development, and they still have been transparent, but everything was very transparent and he was very excited to show stuff. But the fact that Alpha 1 hasn't tested anything, any spot test for almost 3 years, something happened in there where he decided to maybe step back a little bit more from the transparency. I don't know what. Maybe there was some negative reviews or something like that he didn't like and he didn't want to put as much out. I'm not sure. But they got real tight-lipped for a long time. And thank goodness that's you know, coming to an end. But yeah, something happened along the way where they kind of changed directions a little bit. But you know, I get it. People are overly critical sometimes, and it can be to the detriment of the game.
We talked about this one. This was the
right.
the resource generator.
That's right. And that one doesn't have any additional spec options.
I don't really
Rupture
care anymore
also,
since we're getting so close. How we got here, I
looks
just
like
know that
that
we're
one has
almost
spec
here.
Options.
It does not, but if you go in, so you will see kind of to the right of Rupture, there are.
If you're new to the channel and
things
you're
that it
looking at
unlocks.
AOC and you're looking at this game,
Like let's.
and you don't know
sorry,
anything
below
about it,
MAME,
I
actually.
want
If
you
go
to
MAME
know
and then to the
while you're in
right,
a channel or if you're watching this
there are some
YouTube
things
video
over here
later,
that you get to unlock
that
as well,
if you
which
have any
kinda
questions,
synergize with
this is
Rupture.
the kind of channel that is going to be
For
an
example,
informative
Brutality,
channel. I want
allows you
to
to
help
start
you guys
applying wound stacks
learn
in your
about
weapon
this game.
combos. So if you
Because
really want
this
to
game
lean
is my
into
passion,
that
and I want
utility,
anyone who wants to know about it
I'm a
to be
heal
able to know
debuffing
about it.
spec
So
fighter,
if you have any
like,
questions, feel
that's my
free to
thing that
ask.
I do. You could go into this, and now your weapon attacks in
Don't worry about
addition to
interrupting
generating
me or
momentum,
anything
are
like
also
that.
applying wounds to the
No big
target.
thing, but a chicken wing.
Love it.
And then this one adds more wound.
This is the line that I really love, the whole brutality line and stuff like that. I think that's the one that I'm going to spec into. That's the one that I'm going to save some of those extra points to be part of. The bleed line, I think, is going to be especially, no pun intended, brutal.
specialization if you go down.
And greater brutality adds
wow,
another
okay,
10
so
wounds.
This gives Overpower and Brutal Cleave wound application.
Yeah.
Because what do people do when you fight them? What do they do? They run around like a
wounds
chicken with
to
their
the
head
way
cut
that
off.
you're normally building them
How
up
many
if you
people?
wanna kinda do the
How many
spec.
people do you know when you're fighting somebody stand still? Them bunny hoppers are going to be bleeding all over the place, and I'm going to love it.
Both.
That's cool. Wow. Strong. Okay, let's talk about this apparent crippling blow.
Yeah, sure. So crippling blow. This one's pretty simple. This is a standard single
That
target
tank
snare.
does look. I mean, both
so
these archetypes look
pretty
just
common
fabulous.
combo
They
you
really
can
do.
use is like blitz into a crippling blow if you're like
Game's
getting
really
on top
coming
of a
together.
target that's trying to kite you. Like if you're charging up on a ranger who's like the last thing they want is you in their face, like snaring them is gonna force them to.
Yeah, he's not wrong about that. The last thing you want is you up in a ranger's face for sure.
That's cool.
I bet rangers are thinking twice now about whether they want to attack a fighter, but you might not know it's a
crippling blow
fighter
is pretty strong,
based
actually,
on what we
especially
know.
when it comes to PvP. I mean, that's a pretty.
I did wish that they would have put another weapon in the showcase. We've seen the great sword so much. You know, I'm more of a great axe kind of guy, and I might even go with like if they allow us the two axes, the two one-handed axes that we saw the Minotaur with. Oh man, I'd be all over that. I'm hoping at some point we get to see some of the other weapons. Maybe they're holding that back too. I don't know. I'm sure that they have them done, but maybe they're holding them back too.
Significant reduction in movement speed.
Yeah, it is single target, so you do have to choose wisely who you are snaring. But it's pretty nice to be able to just lock a target down. Not like hard CC, but just make it easier to stick on top of them.
Very cool. All right, crippling blow, and then we have lethal blow.
This is another one of my favorites. This is the execute of the kit.
Yeah,
it's
this
single
is the
target as
finisher,
well.
I think, right here.
But the lower health they are, the harder it's going to hit. So this is really like you're trying to do as much damage with your other abilities as possible, and then when you get them like within that kill threshold, you're just gonna hit them with this.
You know, I wonder if they're going to have an ability, which we've seen in some other games, that when you use your finisher move on them, that it automatically resets the cooldown on it, and you can use it again. So if you're in a big fight and you see somebody low, you use your finisher on them, and next thing you know, it's up again, and you can pop somebody else with it. That'd be cool. Might be overpowered.
And, finish them off.
Oh my gosh, look at that damage.
Oh my god.
Ashes. That's another thing, guys. What other game, when you die, turns you into a pile of ashes? That's just a great. Great. I love
This
that.
does have
I love that
couple spec
effect.
options as well. One you
And
can
look at
whenever-
that
if you
res.
kill them
Look
with
how
that,
detailed
and you
that
have the spec
resurrection is. Look at the
resets splits,
tree
you could
coming out.
immediately blitz
That
again,
is so
even if
spectacular
it was off
looking.
cooldown when you got the kill.
By the way, as I heard something interesting about PvP. Apparently, when you are flagged green, non-combatant, you can't be feared. Oh, I didn't know that. Sounds good if we want to make a run instead of fighting back. Hey, there you go. I didn't know that. Is that on the wiki as? Anyway, what I was talking about was with the res. Since you don't lose, there's no penalty if you get resurrected by a cleric, man. Between getting mana from a bard, which they did basically confirm in this video that you are going to be able to get it, because they said if you don't have a bard in your party, you can use this spell. Well, big hint there. So you're gonna, and I believe mages can give mana as well. So, Rakcha says, I wonder if there'll be a mass res ability. There might be something down the line, yeah. As someone claimed in the forums. I'm going to have to double check that one just to make sure, like slow effect, stuns, fears. Yep, that would be cool, though, because, I mean, if they don't want to fight, I'm going to finish the first thought that I have, and then I'm going to come back to that one. I'm going to bring a pocket healer with me for sure, because I don't want to have to deal with experience that makes ganking harder. Yeah, and here's something to think about. Now, we haven't seen the rogue yet, right? But everybody knows how a rogue operates, right? They are, stealth up to you, smack you with a huge opener. Now, if you're a green guy, right? If you're just minding your own business, and you're farming mobs, and you have a rogue come up to you, right? And take off half of your life in one opener. I mean, you're down. It's not a fair fight. You're down half your life already. So in that case, I might just sit back and say, go ahead, shithead, kill me, go corrupt. But what I fear happening is I fear people going in and attacking you, and if the people don't attack back, they're just going to get you real low and just waste your time. And they're going to keep coming back, and just getting you low on health. And I'd almost quantify that as griefing. And I hope Intrepid is aware of that mechanic, and that they put a hard stance on it. Like, they don't want people coming up and just smacking people, getting them down to low health. And if they don't fight, they just leave them alone for a minute. That's just plain harassment. And you're trying to get someone to fight back, but if you're taking off half their life and it's not a fair fight from the beginning, fine. If you want to fight them, then come up to them and be a man and say, I want to fight you. We'll fight for this spot here, for this grinding spot. Okay, yeah, sure, why not? But I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. That you know what? That might be a talent down the line, Rakta, maybe in an expansion or something like that, or maybe possibly like a divine node unlock, like an augment from a divine node. That would be cool.
But if you want to open your skill tree here, we can look at the other.
Yeah, now you're talking, huh?
Sorry, crippling blow did not have any spec options, but lethal blow.
The stuff that we're going to be able to do, the secondary systems that they have, where we can unlock certain augments between the caravan system. I mean, we already know they're going to have the Scholars Academy and the Thieves Guild and stuff like that. There's going to be a lot of secondary augments that we're going to be able to unlock, which is going to further break the meta, right? Because, you know, everyone's going to kind of go off into their own areas. So that's something we have to consider. Whether all these are going to be ready for, you know, launch, who knows? But we know that they are coming down the road.
Yeah, so a lot of the time, you know, I've played games where, you know, executes hit really hard, but you waste a lot of the damage, and it's like, oh, I saw a cool big number, but it didn't.
I need a
do
slash
anything.
pizza command where somebody can
This
order
spec
me a
option
pizza
lets you
while I'm
make use
streaming.
out of that.
I'm hungry
So it
today.
turns any overkill damage into like health and mana returned to you, the
That's
caster.
awesome. And you know what I love about that? It's at least as it relates to PvP, is that you do not have granularity insight to the opponent's hit points. So you're really rolling the dice if you want to maximize efficacy on this consuming lethal blow.
Yeah, that's how I've been using it a lot.
Yes.
Like sometimes I pull
The
it off
consuming
every time
lethal
that,
blow, that one looks really good. I'm glad that they added that. It added that in.
Okay, let's go up here. We got Blood Fusion.
This is awesome.
Yeah, so
Blood Fusion.
kind of like that lethal blow spec we were using. This is another way for the fighter to get health and mana back to itself. That's kind of one way that the fighter
Not only
sustains
that, but it
itself,
has
is
an
in the thick of
awesome.
things, right? It's a primary.
It has a
target.
really awesome
You've got to be in danger to be doing a lot
effect
of what
on it that he
your
has, like
kit
this
does. And
really red
this
blood
is like one way
effect that he has when he's using
fighter
it.
can stay in the fight.
Very cool.
And if you pop this, it's a big cooldown. But for the next 6 seconds, any damage you do will have a % returned as health and mana to you.
Okay. So let me.
I like to see you guys talking in chat like that. That's good.
500.
Go ahead, Tread.
Okay, I don't want to do it all at once.
Multiple 500.
I'm gonna need people like you, and
And
when this
then,
game
I am going to
when this
deal
game comes out, guys, and we go into the Alpha 2, and we have millions of people who are looking to learn about this game, I'm really going to be counting on people like yourselves who can come in here and steer these people right. I'm not going to simply be able to answer everybody's question. We're going to need veteran Ashes players who, you know, are knowledgeable and have been following this for a long time to help out all the content creators, not just me, of course. It's up to us as a community and content creators to get the public, you know, give them the right knowledge. So we're going to be counting on all of you guys. As says, we will also function nicely to signal enemy players, oh, beware of that guy, starting mass threat. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. One of the things I was thinking about, Rockta says, yeah, that's why I'm engaging so early in development already. I want all the knowledge. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest reasons I'm, you know, in the alpha is because, well, yeah, of course, other than testing the game and putting my 2 cents in, it also is, I mean, let's be honest, it's a competitive advantage when the game launches. You're going to know so much more about it. But I want to take that knowledge and I want to be able to share it with people. You know, because we've all been in those games where we've come into, I mean, I came into Arcade late, right? Man, nobody would help me. Nobody. And they're like, you just got to find out for yourself. And I'm like, dude, that sucks. And that kind of toxic community sucks. So our forums and Ashes have been really good for the most part. Yes, we have some disagreements and stuff like that. But overall, the Ashes of Creation forums have been very helpful. And they've worked together in trying to find a common ground. I can't say as much for Reddit. I am not as enthused about Reddit. I think anybody who hates Ashes of Creation goes to Reddit. I don't know how much control the mods have over that, but I would like to see them I'd like to see Reddit have a more of a, if it's even possible, more of a community like we have on our Ashes forums. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of people out there that need our help, and I'm taking it upon myself, and like you said, Rockta, to help people out. He says having disagreements at this stage of the game is like fighting over air, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, and some of the stuff like we talked about, I think Ashes and Air posted the leveling speed, or was it leveling speed, or no, the post launch levels being raised, like a WoW expansion, and it was a hot topic. I made a video on it, and I got a lot of flack, especially from Reddit, about the game's not even out. Yeah, of course it's not out, but doesn't mean we still can't talk about it. And that's all we're doing is just talking and throwing our ideas out there. It's nothing like, I'm not going to play this game if you raise 10 levels. It's just talking. That's all it is. People get bent out of shape way too easy.
Some damage here to see how much I get back.
Man, he's getting ready to unload a can of whoop ass on him.
Yep, so that last hit missed the window, but you got a good chunk from your other attacks. The value of this is super variable based
What'd you guys think about the God mode that they had? It looked pretty good. I definitely feel like the Nerf bat is coming for that ability. I would like to see I forget what it was called. It was the stance that increased their CC resistance to 40%. I would like to see that maybe up to 50%, maybe with a skill or something like that. Yeah, first pass. It won't even make it to launch, Rakta. That shit's getting nerfed in alpha. It's getting nerfed in alpha, and we're just gonna have to love it. You know, one of the things that I keep thinking about is, are we going to go ahead and be able to fish in Alpha 2 at the start of Alpha 2? I put a question up on there, but I guess it didn't get upvoted enough. I want to know, because we know that naval is not going to be in the game at the start. So that would be a perfect opportunity for sport fishermen to be able to go out into the sea, relatively gank free, and actually check out and test the system of sport fishing. I hope the sport boats are in there earlier on than later. Putting them in there at the same time that naval combat comes out there could give us we might not even be able to test it because we're going to be getting killed so much. And also, it was said in this...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my underground
Hey, Paranoid, thank you.
lair.
Welcome to the channel. Appreciate the follow, my man. Now I just totally lost my thought. He was talking about the ships. Somebody had asked a question as far as the ships. Now, it sounds like there's going to be a mechanic when you're on the sea that you're going to be able to repair your ship, assuming you have the materials. And that sounded a lot to me like the Sea of Thieves and or Atlas kind of deal, which is if you have the materials, you can repair your ship on the fly. However, he said if it's destroyed, it's going to cost you... He said it's going to cost you. I can't remember. I have to go back. I have it in my notes of what the exact quote is. But it's going to cost you some cash. So... and probably some time, too. Being a carpenter, that's good for me because I'll probably have extra parts on hand. Plus, I'll, be able to make some money off of that. But, yeah, for anyone else who's not, that's another thing. Also, he says that you don't have to be in a coastal node to make a ship and or launch a ship. You can go ahead and do that anywhere from any harbor. So that's something else, if you guys didn't know, will be available to us. Again, welcome, Paranoid. Glad to have you. I see you all over the place. Happy to have you.
Like popping your AoEs, like this is going to get a ton more value.
That's cool. I like that. So it's an instant cast that can happen in the middle of any ability activation.
Right.
Nice.
You could start your Cataclysm. And
I hope
pop
everyone
that
was
right
happy
before
with
it
the
lands.
fighter stream yesterday.
That's cool.
And
That is cool.
I've heard rumors, and they said it was pretty much said by Margaret, and I didn't catch this. Word for word. I have to go back and check it, but it sounds like we possibly going to be getting wars next stream, which would be very cool. I'd love to see a node war. That would be awesome. See a node war and possible de-leveling of maybe
like
from
the,
a town back to a
effect.
village.
Effect looks great.
Yeah.
Got more of that.
Paranoid says, "Oh yeah, I was always on the top the top of the list for fishing and BDO. I never got to play BDO Paranaut. My fishing experience comes from Arcade. I'm not sure how similar those two games were. I'm hoping, in a selfish way, that the fishing in Ashes of Creation is a lot like Arcade's.
Blood theme.
Yes. Well, I also love the audio for it. It's like you're consuming.
But fishing was a lot of money, and and I've said before,
Grab.
I'm sure you weren't into the stream at that time, but I said before that I do believe that fishing in Ashes of Creation should be the most lucrative skill that you can have in the gathering tree. Now, I fully expect processors and crafters down the road to make more money. I mean, let's face it, some of those breeds that you come up with on those mounts in the animal husbandry are probably going to be worth a ton. Now, it's also possible that taming a few really rare, creatures could net you a really high price. But I'd say on an average, you're risking it for the biscuit when you're out there fishing. And we know that early on it's going to be a pirate haven. So you're really risking a lot. Not to mention, especially we just talked about the high cost of repairing your boat. So it better be lucrative. It better be lucrative.
This is.
Or else, potions are not going to be happening. The potion prices are going to be absurd because nobody's going to be able to get the materials for
them. Okay, cool. Let's skip Exert for now. Let's go to Lunging Assault.
Yeah, so this is like going to be one of your first spenders of your resource.
Paranos says people talk about people don't talk about the fishing crafting materials for weapon and armor, i.e. bones and scales. No, they don't. And it's going to be involved in the game. Now, the one thing that's kind of cool is that you will be able to have, I think they said it was like fisheries at your freehold. So you probably can get some of that stuff out of there. But overall, I'm sure some of that higher tier stuff is going to require you going out into the deep sea fishing to get some of that stuff. Which it should.
This spender is more for mobility. It's a smaller spender. But
make some friends with the pirates out there saying, we'll hook you guys up with some free fishies if you guys leave us alone to protect us.
It's pretty freely usable.
Diplomacy is your friend.
It's just spending your resource. So the more resource you're generating, the more you're able to kind of reposition and dash around the.
And Margaret hit something on the head the other day when I forget what the exact question was, but it basically came down to, she says, make friends. Having a guild is good. And I think all of us in this channel who are following Ashes of Creation either are in a guild. I'm an overlord myself. A lot of us are in guilds or looking for a guild. Look for a guild that suits you. If you're watching this video later on YouTube, look for a guild that suits you and your kind of personality, whether you're more casual or hardcore, what you're looking to get out of the game. But I would definitely recommend finding a guild to be part of. It's going to make your experience in Ashes of Creation far greater than it would be solo. Yes, you can play the game solo, but I would look for a guild. So unless you're completely antisocial and don't want to have anything to do with guilds, I highly recommend looking for a guild. Overlord is a great guild to look to also. Shameless plug.
Damage out there.
I see. Now, obviously, utilizing the resource with Lunging Assault, because you're dealing instances.
Are you in
of
Alpha
damage
1 or Alpha 1
you have an
tester
opportunity
Paranaut
to
and waiting for the
it
Alpha 2
executed
to
well situation
come on up?
that you can actually probably have a net gain with this if there's a huge amount of enemies, like a train or something, right?
You're in
Yeah, it would
Zillin's
take a
channel,
lot of
aren't you?
enemies to
I'm
actually
pretty
get
sure I
a
see you in
profit,
Zillin's channel.
but you can at least mitigate
I'm not
the cost,
mistaken.
through that spec choice
Yeah.
of if you're hitting enemies, you can get resource back, and therefore you're getting to do this more, and you're also not losing.
Zillin's also a very nice content creator. We got a lot of good content creators out here.
Cool.
They really look out for each other.
Okay,
I don't know if
let's
that's
try
going to be
this.
the case when Alpha 2 rolls out.
Now, I
There's
don't need a
the
target
market's
bonus, I
going to
can
be
just kinda-
flooded with content creators,
It's a reposition.
bringing in their communities from other games. I hope that we still maintain a nice, cordial work atmosphere with each other.
That's cool. Oh, okay.
Because some games can be pretty cutthroat and brutal.
So it's kind of not too far a distance there.
I'm doing this because I have a
it's meant
passion
to,
for
like,
it.
Be more of a
That's why I'm
repositioner
doing it.
Where you're dancing around your target. You might be zipping back and forth between different enemies.
Anytime I get a
melee.
chance to talk to somebody
Whereas
about
your other-
ashes
you
is
have
a
other
good day
tools
for me.
Going longer distances, you have blitz. You have the next one that's about to come up from here. So those are going to be more of your long distance mobility skills.
All right, let me try this.
No, my cheapness wouldn't let me hit the buy button. I regret it now, but I am more active. Hopefully, I get a key later. Well, you know, I'll throw this out there, Paranon. I am giving away, because I'm a leader of men. I have the leader of men package. I am giving away at least 4. I have 5 total. One I might just do with a raffle. But I will be giving away at least 4 closed beta keys. So, and you're going to be able to get them by just watching. That's all you need to do is just get them. You're going to be able to buy them with channel points. Now it's going to be I haven't set the number of channel points, but it's going to be a considerable amount of channel points. But you will be able to purchase it. So if you get that amount of channel points, you know, and really, there's been nobody in here that's
definitely more,
you know, watched every stream. I think Az has been my most loyal follower, so he might have a chance. He's got a good start, but there's definitely, and I'll be streaming a lot more coming to summer because I'm off to summer. So people will really have a chance to stock up a lot of points, assuming that they just come in and watch. Of course, to prevent bots from getting it, you also have to be a follower and a subscriber. So I think that's fair. Yeah, Paradox says, hell yeah. Roxy says, so I don't spend channel points. Yeah, I mean, you can use them. We have lots of things to use your channel points on, TTS and sound files and stuff like that. But if you're looking for a beta key, I would hold on to them. I'm just saying. I mean, I love people making me dance with the chicken dance, and you know, hear Snoop Dogg saying get the servers up and stuff. But you know, if you're looking for a closed beta key, I would not spend your channel points. Absolutely. And we're gonna be real interactive with when it comes to the Alpha 2 and playing the Alpha 2. We're gonna have a spin wheel and stuff like that. You guys are gonna be able to, you know, spend points if you want to make me drop, you know, or take off my armor and play I'm in the mood to run in the nude. So, but. Yeah, Rockta says, just wondering, me spending points makes you money. No, channel points are free. You get those just for watching. That's just a free currency. It's called Electrum coins, and it's down by your chat bar where you hit the chat. Bits are something you have to pay for.
With each person,
hey, thank you for the. I appreciate that. Thank you for the sub, Paradox. I appreciate it. Yeah, bits are something you have to pay for. Look, if you don't have the bits, I don't expect people to go buy bits or anything like that. But we have lots of free sound files and stuff like that that you can use with your channel points. But again, if you're trying to save up for a closed beta key, probably not the best idea. But if you already have access to Alpha or Alpha 2 or whatever, or you just don't care, then, you know, don't do it. But there's going to be a lot of people coming in Alpha that are going to... Oh, you thought you would get some extra credit after you spend it? Yeah, you mean after you spend like bits? No.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome
hey,
to my underground lair.
Thank you very much for the follow. I see you all over the content creators. I appreciate you coming in and checking me out. Yeah, you know, the only thing you get with bits, you know, pretty much is just the use of some of the TTS and stuff like that. That's, you know, in some of the sound files. That's really all you get. So the subs, obviously, the advantage of doing a sub is you don't have to, you know, watch those annoying commercials. Sorry, Twitch, it's true. They're annoying. What do you want me to say? But yes, you will have an option to get those closed beta keys, and I will be talking more about those. So if you're watching this on YouTube, come in and check, start gaining those, because when Alpha 2 rolls out, there's going to be a lot of people coming in. They're going to be fighting for them. Sir Owensington says, cool, brother. Thank you for streaming. Hey, no problem, man. I love talking Ashes. I love hanging out with you guys. And, you know, I'm
Very
new
cool.
to the streaming.
All right,
well,
let's talk.
I'm not new to the streaming scene. I'm new to streaming Ashes. I streamed about 8 years ago. I used to stream full-time at Dead by Daylight, hence why I'm coming in now with 500-plus followers. Unfortunately, most of my followers don't follow Ashes of Creation. So I'm having to build a whole new clientele. And along with a brand new YouTube channel. If you haven't checked out the YouTube channel, because you probably don't see me on YouTube, because the YouTube algorithm gods have got me buried at the ass crack of YouTube. So I never get up there. So check me out on my YouTube. Also, throw me a subscribe. It's free. It helps. Thanks, guys. Shameless plug.
A little bit about.
I got some cool new videos coming out also on YouTube. I'm putting together a really extensive one for the fighter. So when that's up, hopefully tomorrow, check it out.
Next up,
the streamer curse of following what you love. Yeah. And that's what it is. And Rockta says may or may not have something to do with your alias too, though. Maybe. All right, I'm gonna give you. People don't always head with you. Yeah, no, for sure. My name. A lot of people. I get this question a lot. And by the way, I'm gonna throw out I will be on the Golden Feather Tavern on April 2nd with Chibi and Vertec. Going to give a shout out to them. So catch me over there as well. My name comes from. I'm older, so my first game that I played was Warcraft Orcs and Humans. Okay, the RTS, way before WoW came out. So I used to play that game a lot. I was pretty good at that game. And if I didn't like you, I would literally take my peons and I would kill your town hall and watch you agonize in pain while waiting to be disconnected after you lost the game. So I would kill the town hall with my peons. Hence the name, I'll pee on you. And it obviously has a dual meaning, but but anybody who understands Warcraft will understand that. Nice, love those two. Yeah, Chibi, we have great content creators. Great.
That's what I'm seeing.
I'll name them all, but there's just too many. Builder Rush, yeah, Builder Rush too, yeah. Rockta, oh nice. So that's a little background behind my name. A lot of people are not old enough to realize that because they never played Warcraft Orcs and Humans or even really Warcraft RTS.
You can spend momentum, but it's a resource that's primarily meant to be.
As says, I'm so going to watch this presentation myself as well. I haven't done that in a while. Paradox says, I still have my old Warcraft. Hey, there we go. So you're an old fart like me? All right. I love those. Rockta says, I thought we were that old guy, that weird kink law. Sir was my first Warcraft 2. My first was Warcraft 2. Warcraft 2 was awesome. And Rockta says, and just to be open about it, Paranot, yeah. Lordaeron, yes, me lord. I was telling a story the other day to some people that, when my brother built me my computer, and his name is Lou, so he built it himself, and he just called it a Tandy Lou, and computers were shit back then. I had the 2400 baud modem, finally upgraded to 14.4. I was like, woohoo! In the middle of a game of Warcraft, somebody calls me in a call waiting, and it kicks my game off, and it's done. Sir Rosington says, I went to a friend's to chill and showed me the game. I felt bad because I played on his comp the entire. Yeah, no, you're not lying. And so anyway, my brother called me over after I was so into Warcraft Orcs and Humans. He called me over and said, hey, I'm in the alpha for Warcraft 2. Come check it out. So I buzzed over to his apartment real quick and I checked it out. And I can still remember to this day, like it was yesterday, sitting in there and clicking on the guys because they had all kinds, you clicked, how it works. You clicked on them and they make all kinds of funny noises. And obviously this said wave file wasn't in the game because it was an alpha. So you'd click on the peasant. Remember, good review for Warcraft 2. And it was just so funny. And I loved it. It was just awesome. Yeah, work. I'm not that kind of orc.
So, you'll notice in the top left here, he is in this form.
The peons are great. I love the peons.
As long as you don't change
absolutely
forms, you will
fabulous.
permanently remain in the form of ferocity. We actually renamed this.
Make sure you guys hang out in the channel for at least another one. I appreciate you guys being here to hang out in the channel for. We got about another 15 minutes, a little bit more until Rive gets online, and we're gonna go raid big time there after he got his question answered. He should be streaming tonight after he got his question answered yesterday on the stream.
Yep.
Let's generate some momentum.
Obi doobie, dabu. Yeah.
Your combo weapon.
You were a human main for sure. I love the ogre. This way, go that way. The bloodlusted ogres were awesome.
Okay, 86.9 has gone to 99.2.
Yep.
Up and it's dropping.
I kind of miss the days of the RTSs guys, and StarCraft was a lot of fun too. Yeah, he did have a lot of questions, and
that's really what the fighter's all about. Is like
I'll be going over that and
ramping
making
up,
sure
giving
everyone
them
sees the
that
answers to
combat
that as well,
momentum.
and
It's the main,
broke it down a little bit
and when
on the
the fight's-
YouTube video.
It feels like
There was a lot of good
the attack
questions
speed is even
that I
increasing
feel
each
that need to be up there.
individual
Rockta
ability
says
speed
Loreforge
as
is going to
well.
stream in 50 minutes too. Sonny hasn't seen it. Oh,
That's
he's going to love it.
huge.
Soros says Steven handled it really well though. No, he did. Steven does it.
So if you were
I have a
fully formed,
you guys
you
missed
would
it earlier,
lose
but
the
I have a
attack
video
speed
coming
bonus,
out
but
on
immediately gain the
basically
bonus of the
why
fully formed
Ashes
form.
could be or should be for you, and how Steven is basically the X factor of why it's going to make Ashes great. And it's a long one, but keep an eye out for that one. Paranoid, I did the
So if you
Shamir
wanted to
Rush.
shift it
Oh
into,
man, those are brutal.
maybe,
With the Riflemen and
Solar
Bloodlust
Ranger.
Shaman Torrens.
Alright,
Yeah,
so that is,
I did all of the races. I tried
There you
to
go. Now
just
run
do random
around.
because I felt it would
Might
give
have to
me an
put some in, maybe
advantage
probably use the mana and
as
then
opposed to somebody
over the
knowing
whole
what
board.
race I was right when I started the game.
But
I
this
think
one
in the
is
solo
zooming
ladder
speed,
on when
so this
Warcraft 3
lets you
came out,
just move
I think I
around
got
and
to
feel
like
lot
a
more,
24 or something like that on the
nimbly.
solo ladder, but that's about as high as I got.
So if you
But I
need
was
to,
really
like,
into
you know,
that
close
game.
the gap a little bit and your gap closers are on cooldown.
Very
or
much
whatever,
enjoyed
this
that
is
one
good
and
for
StarCraft
traversing the
2.
field a bit faster.
Yeah. Wow. This is pretty quick.
But they seem to have fallen out of favor. You just don't see them
That's a
very much
significant speed
anymore.
boost.
Now I'm older and I got more time to spend, so I want to play some MMOs.
And then the third one is more of a defensive option, a bit more situational.
Sorry,
but
we've only
it
gotten
is,
through like 30 minutes of this
a
because I
disable
keep talking.
resistance form. This is
And there's that announcement
form
for you
of
right there,
fluidity.
Paranoid, about the beta keys.
And while you're in it, you are much more difficult.
I'll let you know also if
so
if I
more
catch another
resistance,
content
stuns,
creator
chains,
giving some away. There is
trips, pretty
somebody.
much anything that falls
Who,
into
who is
the
it?
CC
Hang on, I'm
category.
trying to think. Somebody is giving them away.
Sure,
Oh,
there's a chance that I'll
Stogly.
you, but
I'm pretty sure it's
see.
Stogly.
I can't actually.
Ask.
Oh, okay, no, it's okay.
Try to catch out that
So
ugly
this
dwarf
is
Stogly.
basically when you want
And
to,
I think they're giving away some
to
alpha
literally be
keys.
unstoppable
So
through CC effects.
come back and correct me if I'm
30%
wrong, but I'm
reduction.
pretty sure
That's
Thogly
pretty-
is giving
that's
away
pretty
some
powerful.
alpha keys, and he's a really great
Yep,
guy
and
too.
again, all of them
I did
are
a
kind
stream
of
with
in-
him and
in
Creary
tune,
and
or
yesterday
being tuned.
for a little bit.
We just,
Ozington
when we're
says
testing
true.
these out,
Todd
we
Howard
let
doesn't
them
have
feel
shit else even help.
impactful just to validate that.
Steven's
they
a
are,
great guy.
you know,
I mean, really
things,
great
and
guy.
then we start to balance to tone that back down.
Parana says, "Yeah, I'm starting to stream." Oh, okay. I will go ahead and a little later after this, I'll make sure I
Alright,
go ahead and
last, but
give you a
most
follow over there
certainly
on Twitch.
Not least.
Steve will
is
bring us his way to
ability
no,
called
absolutely.
God mode. I mean, excuse me.
You know what?
I'm sorry.
Since you're a streamer, Paranoid, I'm going to go ahead and use this because I've been wanting to use this all day. I just made this, so here we go. Gentlemen, orcs and humans, and everyone in between and beyond, we interrupt our regularly scheduled programming for a very special announcement. Hold on to your seats because this is breaking news coming live from the Hidden Dagger Inn in the Riverlands. Today, we have an extraordinary guest dropping in, a fellow adventurer, a comrade in arms, a maestro of his streaming world. Can I get a drum roll, please? Joining us right here, right now, is none other than our legendary guest, Paranoid, and here's his shout out, and hopefully it works. Let's see. Oh, unrecognized command. Okay, well, I'm going to have to work on his shout out part, but there you go. I hope you like it. Guys, go check out Paranoid's channel. Give him a follow. I appreciate him coming in and all the hard work that he does. There you go. Sorry that I got to work on that shout out message, but did you guys like that? Did you enjoy it? Oh, cool. Thanks, man. Yeah, you bet. I love to try to, you know what, a lot of you guys don't know this, but streaming kind of gave me a bad taste back in the day with Dead by Daylight when I streamed that because I felt that the community wasn't real, the streamers weren't real good to each other. So I was kind of done with it. But loving this game, and then over the last however long, seeing all the content creators come together and work together really meant something to me. And I wanted to be part of that. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm coming back, to share my passion for the game that I love. And I've made so many friends since coming back and doing content creation, starting the YouTube channel, and then doing the Twitch. I've made so many friends. The community here, the content creators are just great. I hope it stays that way. And even if it doesn't, because we know we're going to be flooded with content creators when Alpha 2 comes in, I hope that our small little clique stays together. It feels like the Ashes CCers aren't competing. No, it's all Big One competing. Well, most of them. Yeah. I like Narc. Narc is fine. He's a lot different than when I first started to follow him. He's changed a lot, but he's catering to his community that he has. I can't fault him for that. Is it my style? No, I look for a different kind of a style. But people like, and I'll go ahead and name them: Jamie Chaos and Annie Lace, Chibi Bree and Vertec, Stick Quino. You got Zillin. You got Rive Genesis. You got Richie. I know I'm missing some. You got Nice, and is there no one else? Crerian, who's new to streaming. Thogly is starting to stream now. You got a lot of, and I apologize if I missed you. I'm just trying to run these off the top of my head. But yeah, there's a lot of people, and they've all been very, very welcoming to me. And Dr. Burns, he doesn't stream, of course, but he makes outstanding content on YouTube. So yeah, the community in general is just freaking awesome, and I really hope it stays that way, and I expect it to.
Your segue actually is a great segue.
Yep.
So
Hey,
speaking of
Aberrant. Oh
balance
yes, and
what
Lord Forge.
really
I haven't
happened-
had a chance. Thank you, Aberrant. Welcome back, buddy. I haven't had a chance to stop by and talk to Sonny in a while. I used to, he always streams when I'm at work, and sometimes I'm a school bus driver, and Vladis. Yes, I haven't had a chance to watch Vladis either. I haven't had much contact with Vladis. Him and I don't know each other very well. What was I going to say? I would like to talk to him though. I'm a school bus driver part-time, so a lot of times Lord Forge will come on, and I can't use my phone while I'm driving, obviously, so I'll just like stuff it in my pocket and listen to his stream and just tell him I'm lurking before I start working again. But he's a good guy. He's a nice guy. I am not super into lore myself. It's cool. I'm starting to get into role playing and cosplay and stuff like that, because it's pretty fun, and this is the perfect game to start. But lore, I'm going to try to get into it a little bit, but I don't know. I'm just trying to learn about the game and all the facets about the game. I don't know if I'm going to be able to absorb all the lore as well.
Obviously,
I'll try, but I'll see what I can do. But yes, Lore Forge, those guys are great. Cash
Keep that in mind.
and Jibs
However,
and
segue
and
here
then
into
Phantom
God
X.
mode,
I can't forget
aka
Phantom X and
Exert.
Diggs.
We have what?
So if you guys
when
haven't checked
go
out
through
those
your
guys
event,
when
you
they're
can
live,
still treat to the left.
make sure you guys.
Exert.
I've
This
seen
is
a lot of you
very
guys
high
in their
cost,
channels.
very high
So,
payoff, like essentially like
If you didn't know,
super-
my name is, which you probably know by now, is I'll Pee on You. So I have 2 accounts on Twitch, I'll Pee on You and the Hidden Dagger. So you see either one of those, it's me.
mode that you can go into, and you're rapidly spending your momentum while you're.
I like to double dip so I can
this
pick the
form.
poison on
It's
Jamie.
all or nothing. You can't turn it
I'll
off.
sit in
Once
there
you
on
off
my
this,
accounts
it'll
and
stay
really hit 'em
until
hard when I
your
pick the
momentum is
poison.
fully drained, and then you're gonna have to build it all the way back up again. Meanwhile, you're getting increased attack speed. You're getting CC immunity, and whatever else it says in here.
We've got 20% increased attack and movement speed, and
One you though, if you
enabling
see
effects.
another one is,
Wow.
is an imposter.
So
Yeah.
if you can kind of draw the connection, this is like you're taking the 3 forms, which are CC resistance. movement
Oh,
speed,
yeah?
and attack
And she
speed,
likes
and
that one,
all
huh?
3 of them in a huge burst for a small window. of time.
Very
Chibi's really nice. I think she's.
And that's
I know Vertec has been out for work the last almost 2 weeks, and he's been extremely busy. I haven't seen Chibi on a lot either. I think she's been really busy. I hope she comes back soon, because I'm supposed to stream with her on April 2nd. So I'm sure she'll get back to me so I can give my traveling bard speech. Hey, I'm with Vertec and Chibi Bree at the Golden Feather Tavern. Come on down and have a drink, or whatever it was, something like that. So no, but they've been fantastic to me. Jamie Chaos and Annie Lace, I'm starting to grow very attached to. This was Vertec's idea too, that he's planning on getting as many content creators and our viewers that want to come to. I have a launch a party invite, but a lot of people don't. But that's okay, because if you don't have one, come to Vegas anyway. Because Vertec wants to hang out before the launch event and after the launch event. And heck, I'm thinking we can have games and all kinds of other stuff to do. I told Jamie, I said I want to get the hamster ball or the sumo wrestler outfits and just go to town with some of the other content creators and viewers out there. I think that could just be a blast. So we're trying to do something as a community too, trying to grow together. And somebody had mentioned before, I'm not sure who, and I apologize, that yes, we're not out there. It's not all about views and stuff like that. Of course, yeah, views and subs and all that stuff are nice, but that's not what it's about. It's about growing our communities so we can build this game. The more people that come into these channels and the more perspective they'll get from the different streamers and YouTubers, the better off the game will be, because everybody's got their own unique, perspective and opinions. I mean, opinions are like assholes, so everybody's got one. So am I right all the time? Hell no. No, I'm not even close. I probably have my RNG on being right is probably not very good. So just throwing that out there. But I try to keep up with the wiki as much as I can. But I'm the kind of person where I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, damn it, I'm right and you're wrong, you kiss my ass. If you're right and you show me why, I'll be happy to admit that I'm wrong. I do it a lot. So just throwing that out there. Just throwing it out there. I do appreciate all you new viewers coming in, though. I love seeing you guys in here. I love seeing you guys talk. It means a lot to me to have you guys, one, invested in Ashes, but two, just stop by and supporting the creators.
Second. Is that right?
Yep. And again, all the numbers are super tuned. We will be tuning these numbers, but we're just kind of putting them in a place where we can play test them as we get.
I'm trying to get my. I got to get my Twitch thing up here so I can go ahead and.
We're going to bring it back a little bit.
Let's
send us over to Rive in a few minutes. I want to make sure that he's on.
Yep. So we've got one that resets your cooldowns based on how much momentum you had at activation. So if you use this at 50 momentum, you would take about half of your cooldowns off. But if you use it at full momentum, you would reset all your cooldowns, so you could just go straight into your rotation upon popping this. And then this one is
okay. Yep, we'll go to him in a few minutes. He's live now. We'll go to him in just a few minutes.
I like this. This is a nice comment. So
actually, it's an hour and a half right now. So let me pause this, and let me say thank you to everybody here. Hang tight while we go ahead and give Rive a big raid from the Peon. And again, I appreciate the subs. I appreciate the follows. I love you guys. I stream every Saturday at 5. I will be streaming a lot more at 5, or not at 5, during the summer when I'm off. Also, if you know people who are looking for those beta keys, tell them how they get them. It's going to be easy. All you got to do is watch. That's it. Pretty much, that's all you got to do. So thank you guys again. Love you guys, and I'll see you over in Rives. Take care, guys. God bless.